Dallas, Texas. By the way, I just checked. It's 80 degrees already in Dallas. Oh my gosh. It's going to go up to 93 today. That's weather and traffic on the 23s. Welcome back, everybody, to American Sunrise. I actually didn't give any traffic. I'm David Brody. By the way, join us in the YouTube chat. We're on Getter, we're on Rumble, YouTube as well. So go there, please join us. President Trump says Ukrainian President Zelensky will not be at his meeting with Vladimir Putin on Friday in Alaska, but adds Zelensky will be called afterwards. Take a look.
I'm going to meet with him. We're going to see what the parameters are. I'm then going to call up President Zelensky and the European leaders right after the meeting, yeah. And I'm going to tell them what kind of a deal. I'm not going to make a deal. It's not up to me to make a deal. I think a deal should be made for both. I think Russia has to get back into building their country. It's a massive country. I think they have 11 time zones, if you can believe it. It's a massive, it's by far, from the standpoint of land, it's by far the largest. They have tremendous potential in Russia to do well. They're not doing well. Their economy is not doing well right now because it's been very well disturbed by this.
All right, for more, let's bring in retired Navy Captain, GOP strategist, and running for Congress out there in California, Almond Curry. And Armin, good to have you on the show again. So what should we expect to come out of this? I mean, normally in a meeting like this with two heads of state, you get some agreements ahead of time, or otherwise this is a waste of time. Boy, I hope this doesn't go south. What do you think?
Good morning. I don't think it's necessarily going to go south per se, but I don't hold out a lot of hope that something good is going to happen. I think Putin is once again just kind of buying for time. I think that's why he agreed to meet in Alaska and show up and kind of give this superficial look to say, hey, I'm ready to come and talk. I think it makes sense not to have both Putin and Zelensky there at the same time. This kind of shuttle diplomacy, you see that when two sides are exceptionally far apart. You don't want them in the room because you're not going to accomplish anything. But I think what is going to happen is that Putin is going to give Trump some hope of a deal. But frankly, I think if you don't come up with an unconditional ceasefire, Trump has got to impose his sanctions. I think if he doesn't do that, then a lot of the critics are going to say, they're going to bring out the taco comment again. And in this case, well, I don't know if necessarily chickens out, but Putin's has got to be smacked down, and Trump's got to carry through with his previous threats.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting, isn't it, that they are meeting there, especially since that used to be Russian territory. We'll
Exactly.
see how the whole thing's interesting. All right, Armin. President Trump has vowed to clean up Washington, D.C. and is using the federal government to do it. Take a listen.
They'll immediately begin massive enforcement operations targeting known gangs, drug dealers, and criminal networks to get them the hell off the street, maybe get them out of the country, because a lot of them came into our country illegally. They shouldn't have been allowed in. They come from Venezuela. They come from all over the world. We're going to get them the hell out. They won't be here long. But some of these people, a lot of them, are homegrown criminals. And these are bad people. These are rough people. And this is just a list of some of the people that were given to me today that were criminals removed from the D.C. streets this weekend. They were rough and tough. But we're rougher and tougher.
What do you think? How's this going to go forward? Because he's only got 30 days to really get something done unless he brings in Congress. What do you see happening?
First of all, this reminds me of when J.D. Vance was told that there were criminal activities in only a few apartment buildings in Denver. Yes, sure. The overall crime rates are down, but the overall numbers, the absolute numbers, are still very high. This is the nation's capital. Representative Craig was attacked. Representative Cuellar was carjacked. Representative Corey had some of his staffers attacked. We know about the Israeli embassy staffers. The nation's capital has to be very, very safe. Now, what's going to happen is you're going to see a lot of Trump's critics, a lot of the anti-police folks who are going to complain about it. And his base is going to be very positive about it. I think the folks in the middle are going to probably see a reduction in crime, and they're going to see that he's trying to actually protect a lot of these neighborhoods. And frankly, the majority of the crime in D.C. is in these predominantly black neighborhoods, these predominantly very low income neighborhoods where they need the protection, where a lot of times they are forgotten. And I think this is going to be a little bit of a bellwether for the rest of the country. See, Trump is carrying through on his promise to try and protect the streets and relieve some of the stress on the DC police. So I think in the end, you'll see a lot of mainstream media complain about it, but I think you'll also see a reduction in crime, and that's going to be good for the people who are not going to be victims of crime.
We are definitely going to find out in short order. Armand, want to change gears a little bit and bring your attention to this Just the News headline. It reads, Comer says he'll try to interrogate Clintons about Russiagate in addition to Epstein probe. Of course, you may remember they were initially subpoenaed to talk about the Epstein case. What's your gut feeling? Do the Clintons show up, or do they risk being held in contempt of Congress and say, "Oh yeah, we're not going in front of any Republicans and have to answer these questions"?
I don't know. I would suspect they probably won't, but my personal feeling is that Comer needs to focus on Russiagate. Epstein, grabs a lot of headlines, but in terms of the sanctity of our republic and what happened during the Biden administration, when a cabal of unelected individuals was making decisions for this country with a president who didn't even know what the heck he was signing, like Mike Johnson was talking about that executive order on natural gas. I am very concerned about that. I am very interested about that. That is what needs to be investigated most strongly. I understand the public wants to know about Epstein. I know there's a court said that the grand jury documents shouldn't be unsealed. Okay, I got all that. But frankly, this is the most important thing to get folks in charge of this investigation, looking into Russiagate and looking into that stuff. I think it's a lot more important.
Of course, Armin, they can do both. I mean, it is called multitasking, though it is Congress, so that maybe doesn't happen. But seriously, I mean, it could happen. The other part of this is that there has not been one president ever that has sat for a deposition and subpoenaed by Congress. I mean, it's never happened. I mean, they wanted to do this to Trump in 2022. They tried to do it to Truman in 1953 with the Un-American Activities Committee. So this idea that Bill Clinton is all of a sudden going to sit for a deposition, I don't see it at all, Armin.
No, I don't see it at all. I don't see him coming in and, like you said, sitting in front of a bunch of Republicans and answering questions. Yeah. Maybe they might come to some agreement where he may answer some questions like, who did you know? Did you see anybody else? In case there's any other, potential folks who could bring in witnesses who could be said, these were potential victims of Epstein or perhaps aided and abetted him knowingly. That's entirely possible. Maybe he does that, but as you said, Clinton's already sat in front of Congress once or twice. I don't think she wants to do it again. Clinton's not going to do it again, and frankly, I think it does set a bit of a bad precedent for something like this.
Yeah, Almond Curry, and great to have you with us on the left coast out there. It's very early. You have the right views on the left coast, so we appreciate you.
Yeah, amen.
Thanks
much.
All right. Coming up, we have all-seen diet drugs like Ozempic deliver some strong results for weight loss in some people, but what other benefits of the drug are coming to light? We're going to talk about that and those answers next on American Sunrise.